Welcome again to the Silverhawk Medicine Lodge and the Revelation Book 2, the rest of the prophecy, and the Magical Mystery Tour. Today we're going to meditate into meeting the Galactic Federation of Light. This is a very compelling thought. We have sightings all over the earth from everywhere, and we know pretty much there are people here from other worlds visiting. The truth is, they've been overseeing us since the beginning. And the Federation of Light is galactic in size and even intergalactic, people from other galaxies. And they've been deeply involved in seeding our planet and overseeing it and helping us in various appropriate ways in our evolutionary process. There are many people deeply involved with this, like Stephen Greer. He's a magnificent man who teaches people how to psychically communicate with our Federation families and has a great deal of truth and information and compiled evidence of the reality, and people that have been on the inside of government where they have met people from other worlds, and he has whistleblowers. He has been running the Disclosure Project so that we can come to the full acceptance of the truth of their reality. And I myself have had several encounters, sightings, and a close encounter of the second kind, which I will go into tomorrow. However, things come to mind that we need to be aware of in the idea of not only disclosure, but first contact. We have been in a state of extreme isolation and quarantine on this earth, and for the longest time have the sense that we might even be alone in the universe, which is one of the silliest ideas ever conjured. However, we have been on our own in many ways and free to develop our world in various ways and experiment with various civilizations and operating systems and finding out what works, what doesn't. And they have not intruded the star nations. They have allowed us to experience this sense of aloneness and our exclusive dominion on the planet, and feel that we're free and sovereign and on our own. However, this is coming to an end now, this situation, and we are confronted with the reality of having to come to terms with people from other stars and worlds. And there are many agents, as I have mentioned, that are incarnate here from other worlds. I am one. There are 160 million more that come in as family to help and to assist in whatever way is appropriate, in the way we can. So this is really what's been going on here on the earth and in the universe. But we come to the point of direct meeting, and what would that be like? How will that change our world? How will that change our reality here? Many people have fears about this and think that maybe these people would interfere or take over our government or take over our world. Nothing could be further from the truth. They do not do this. They are here to help us develop a galactic society that is sovereign and independent and self-governed, where you have a successful humanity here that is free and prosperous with a high consciousness and is civilized and lives the golden rule and can harmonize with other star nations that have already mastered this, so we can become galactic society people and become galactic humans. It is time for this. Our childhood is ending, our maturity is developing now, and we are headed into this development and evolution. And we have seen many productions like Star Wars and Star Trek where we see many portrayals of different kinds of beings and species. So we have that in our mind. We know this is simply a fantasy produced in Hollywood. However, the reality is very close to this, and at least we are introduced to the concept of being with other people from other stars, other worlds. And this is part of the process of coming up to first contact and interaction with our Star Nation families. Our biggest challenge is going to be to expand our perception and consciousness to a galactic level and come out of our isolation and realize we're anything but alone out here. We have a vast array of intelligent life throughout the universe going on. I mean, to think that we would be the only ones out here is patently silly. I don't know how anyone could even think that. If the creative power created us, they certainly didn't stop with us. As they said in the movie Contact with Jodie Foster, it was said in there, if we are the only ones out here, it sure would be a waste of space. How very true. Now we have also seen a lot of Hollywood productions about aliens being conquerors and a threat to our lives and freedom and invaders, that sort of thing. I would just point out that these fears have no foundation in truth. Just stop and think for 1 minute. If a very advanced civilization wished to come in here and take us over, they would just do it. They would not wait for any kind of permission or an invitation. And yet we have all these sightings. They have exercised intervention in many, many things, and yet have not barged in to take over our world. And they obey the protocols of love and the golden rule. This is how the universe truly operates. Now, in earlier times, we did have deceptive intruders come in and take command of our planet, which is why we fell in the first place into such limited consciousness and such dire conditions here on this planet. These particular people have been removed by the Galactic Federation. They have been taken off and out of the world and relocated, driven out of here. They are no longer a threat to us. This was the reason we had fallen in the first place. So to fear an invasion and a takeover is simply silly now because the worst already happened. We already lived through that. And now it has been intervened in, and it is allowing us to regain our cosmic status and our consciousness that we were meant to have, and the empowerment we were meant to have. Now, some of the benefits these star nations are bringing into our world are truly spectacular. We are going to have free energy throughout the planet. It's going to create massive prosperity for all concerned. They have technology to help us clean and restore our ecosystem and environment. Our garden can be restored to its original pristine condition. They have amazing new educational techniques and mind-expanding technology and knowledge. They will empower us to become fully potentialized. We will step into our potential and evolve into it. We are only using a small portion of our brains at this time. We're going to be fully restored to 12-strand DNA condition, which will be a spectacular improvement in our very being. And in the prophecy I have presented to the world of the Drifter world, you can see, have a grand tour of what it's like to be a 12-strand human being, a 12-strand DNA being. And you truly become a god or a goddess in our fullest potential capacity. We will also have things like anti-gravity becoming common, where we can travel easily through the world with no pollution and in a very fast manner. In the near future, you could expect to see saucers landing at the airports rather than these big, cumbersome, noisy, and polluting jets that we have now. You may see a array of saucers hover and drop directly down on a landing pad, and this will become our new mode of travel through the planet. We have teleportation technology also that will be coming to the fore. We have precipitation technology that can create directly out of adamantine particles whatever we wish in the way of food and other items. This is also a common technology in the more advanced societies. They don't have want and need and hunger like we have here. So the time has come to open our hearts and minds and consciousness to these coming developments and begin to embrace them as our new future reality, because it is time for us to step into our maturity as a planetary intelligence and celebrate it immensely. The nightmare is coming to an end. Thank God. So until tomorrow, I wish you the finest meditation and contemplation on these things, and bid you Amun Ra, Namaste, Carpe Diem, seize the day, Vai con Dios, go with God, live long and prosper.